You have $100. Not 10,000, not a bonus from a job you killed yourself for, not money that fell into your lap at the right time. Just $100. The kind of money that disappears over a weekend without a single regret. The kind you spend on things you can't even name by Monday morning. It feels too small to matter and somehow too tight to give up. But this is where it starts. Not with a perfect plan, not with a brokerage account you've been researching for 6 months. It starts here, with $100, and a decision that feels almost embarrassingly small given how big your goals are. You make the decision anyway. You set up the automatic transfer. You pick a basic index fund. You don't overthink it, because overthinking is exactly what stopped you last year, and the year before that. You click confirm. Nothing dramatic happens. The account shows $100. The market dips slightly and you're now at $99.70. You check it 3 times before bed. This is the beginning, and it looks nothing like what you imagined. The account just sits there. You feed it $100 every month like a plant you're not sure is even alive. Some months the number climbs, some months it drops. 6 months in, the balance reads $578. You already knew it would be around there. You did the math before you started. $578 is not a number that changes your life. It's not a number you bring up in conversation. It's a number that lives quietly inside an app you check less and less because the checking stopped giving you any feeling worth chasing. This is the part nobody talks about because there is nothing exciting to talk about. The first 6 months of investing $100 a month is not a story. It's a habit. And habits, before they produce results, produce only themselves. You are building consistency in a gym where the mirrors don't show progress yet. But you show up anyway. You transfer the $100. The machine accepts it without acknowledgement. Now here's the honest part. There is a version of you that stops here, not with a big dramatic decision to quit. Just a month where the transfer doesn't happen because things got tight. Then another month. Then the account sits at $578 untouched for 4 months straight. You stop checking it. You stop thinking about it. A year passes. The habit is gone. That version of you is not lazy. That version of you is human. The gap between knowing what to do and actually continuing to do it when nothing visible is rewarding you for it is where most people quietly walk away. You don't walk away. You don't know yet what that choice is worth, but you will. 12 months in, you've contributed $1,200. The account reads $1,312. The market cooperated moderately. You gained $112 beyond what you put in. You could have earned that in an afternoon of overtime. It is not an impressive number, and you are self-aware enough to know that, and disciplined enough to stay anyway. But here is what actually happened in year 1 that the balance doesn't show. You built a relationship with delayed gratification that most people your age have never built. Every single month, you had $100 that could have been a dinner out, and instead it became a contribution. Not because you are somehow better than the person who chose the dinner, but because you made a specific decision about a specific $100, and you kept making it 12 times. That repetition is the foundation, not the $1,300. The foundation is the habit of doing it again. You also learned something about yourself this year that no return percentage can measure. Your life did not fall apart without that $100. The month didn't collapse. The things you thought you needed the money for mostly never came up. And when they did, you found the money somewhere else. That $100 was never actually holding your budget together. It just felt like it was. Most people never test that feeling. You tested it 12 times, and it was wrong all 12 times. That discovery alone is worth more than any market return. 26 months in, you've contributed $2,600. The account reads $3,100. The number is starting to carry weight, not life-changing weight, but real, noticeable weight. The kind of number where you can finally see the shape of something that didn't exist before. Something shifts in year 2. You stop checking the account out of anxiety. You start checking it out of curiosity. That is a psychological shift that takes most people much longer. Some never make it at all. The investor who monitors from fear and the investor who monitors from curiosity are holding the exact same fund, but they are not having the same experience, and they will not make the same decisions when the market drops. And the market drops. Of course it does. 14% over 11 weeks. You watch $380 disappear. The account that read $3,100 now reads $2,670. You feel it somewhere between your chest and stomach. You sit with it. You don't sell. You transfer the $100 on schedule. because the schedule doesn't negotiate with market conditions. That $100 now buys more shares than it did 3 months ago. Prices are lower. You don't celebrate this. You just continue. 8 months later, when the market recovers, your account is at 3,900. The shares you bought during the drop are now worth more than what you paid. Discipline during the down months compounded quietly. It always does. Year 3 ends. Contributions, $3,600. Balance, $4,750. You are now $1,150 ahead of what you put in. The gap is widening in your favor, and it will keep widening, faster and faster. At some point, the returns stop feeling like a bonus and start feeling like a second contributor, like someone else is also depositing money into your account every month alongside you. That someone is time. Time is the only investor who never misses a contribution, never panics, never sells at the bottom. You are now 29 years old. 60 months of $100. Total contributions, $6,000. Account balance, approximately $8,200 at a 10% average annual return. Roughly what the S&P 500 has averaged historically. Not guaranteed, but historically real. $8,200. You have $2,200 more than you ever deposited. You have more savings than most people in this country right now. Not because you earn more, not because you had advantages others didn't, but because you started a specific habit at a specific time, and you maintained it through 12 months of nothing, through a correction that felt personal, and through one stretch in year 4 where you genuinely thought about pausing, and you didn't pause. Now, let's be clear about what $8,200 is not. It is not retirement. It is not a down payment on its own. It is not financial freedom. Some people will look at that number and tell you it means nothing in the context of real wealth building, and they will be technically correct and completely wrong about what it means, because $8,200 is not the number. It is the proof. Proof that you can build something from almost nothing over a sustained period of time, without a windfall, without a high salary, and without a perfect plan. Proof that the machine works when you feed it. Proof that you are the kind of person who feeds the machine. That identity is worth more than $8,200. The identity is what carries everything forward. 5 years in, the account is growing, but something else is growing alongside it that has nothing to do with market returns. Your relationship with money is different now. Not because you have more of it, because you see it differently. You track where it goes. You understand the difference between spending that creates something and spending that only creates the moment. You don't deprive yourself. You went on the trip. You bought the thing you wanted. You just did it inside a structure that kept the $100 protected, because that $100 had become non-negotiable. Not a sacrifice, just a fact. Your patience is different too. You've watched the market go up. You've watched it go down. And your instinct in both directions has changed. You no longer react. You observe. You understand that a red number on a random Tuesday is not information about your future. It is information about today. And today will pass. Your conversations about money are different now. You have opinions now, real ones. When someone tells you they're waiting for the right time to start investing, you don't lecture them. You remember what that waiting felt like. You remember the years before the decision. You say something quiet and true, and you move on. And then there is something harder to talk about. A quiet distance begins to open between you and people around you who are not building anything. Not because you are better, because your priorities are different, in a way that shows up in small decisions every single day. And small decisions accumulate into a different kind of life. You feel this sometimes like a loneliness you can't quite name. You are moving in a direction not everyone around you is moving, and the movement is slow enough that no one notices yet, including you, until you look back and realize how far you've actually traveled. You are 34, 10 years in, 120 months. Total contributions, $12,000. Account balance, approximately $20,500. You have $8,500 more than you ever put in. In the last year alone, your portfolio returned roughly $1,700 without a single additional dollar of effort from you. Not from a raise, not from a side hustle, from shares you bought over 10 years, compounding into each other. This is the part they try to explain in books and podcasts and financial planning sessions, and it never quite lands until you see it in your own account with your own money. Your money is now making money. Not at a life-changing pace yet, but at a noticeable, accelerating pace. Your existing balance is returning the equivalent of about $140 a month in an average year. You are contributing $100. The machine is contributing more. Think about what you built. Think about what you did not sacrifice to build it. You didn't move back home. You didn't take a second job. You didn't give up what made your life yours. You gave up $100 every month. And 10 years later, you have $20,000 in a portfolio that is now growing faster than your contributions. And the habit is permanent now, because permanent habits stop feeling like habits. They feel like personality. You are 44, 2 full decades in. Total contributions, $24,000. Account balance at a 10% average annual return, approximately $76,000. You have $52,000 more than you ever contributed. You did not time the market, you did not pick the right stock, you had no mentor, no inheritance, no single break that changed everything. You had $100 a month in 20 years, and compounding did exactly what compounding does when you leave it alone long enough. $76,000 is a real number now. It changes decisions. It serves as a foundation if you choose to build on it. And here is the part about year 20 that is easy to miss. The acceleration is just beginning. In year 1, the market returned about $112. In year 10, it returned roughly $1,700 in a single year. In year 20, the account is generating approximately $7,000 annually. $7,000 a year from $100 a month. You put in $1,200 a year, the account adds $7,000. The machine has become the primary contributor. You are almost a passenger at this point. And the journey started with a transfer on a Tuesday evening in an apartment you have long since moved out of. You are 54. Total contributions, $36,000. Account balance, approximately $227,000. You built $191,000 that you never deposited, never earned at a job, and never won. You built it by doing one small thing every month for 30 years and not stopping. At this balance, earning an average of 10% annually, your account generates roughly $22,700 a year without touching the principal. That's nearly $1,900 a month for money that started as $100. The machine you built with pocket change is now producing monthly income that approaches what many people earn working full-time. And there are still 10 years until traditional retirement age. You are 64. 40 years of $100 monthly deposits. Total contributions, $48,000. Account balance at a historically average return, approximately $637,000. $637,000 from $48,000. The difference, $589,000, was not earned. It grew through time and through your refusal to stop. Through 48,000 small decisions, every month when the $100 could have gone somewhere else, and instead it went here. Every month felt like nothing. Every month felt too small to matter. Every correction you didn't sell through. Every year that passed without drama or visible progress. Every transfer that no one congratulated you on. All of it stacked. All of it compounding. All of it here. You've been reading numbers. The numbers are real. The numbers matter. And the numbers are not what this is about. This is about the version of yourself you become when you decide that small and consistent beats large and eventual. Because large and eventual is what most people are waiting for. The bigger paycheck, the bonus, the inheritance, the perfect moment when the amount finally feels worth starting with. That moment does not come. And if it does come, the habit of waiting comes with it. The money disappears into a life that expanded to receive it, and nothing gets built. Small and consistent is not a consolation prize for people who can't do more. It is the mechanism. It is how the machine runs. The person investing $100 a month and the person waiting to invest $1,000 a month arrive at 40 differently. The first one has decades of compounding and a permanent discipline that no amount of money can purchase. The second one has an intention that kept getting delayed, a savings account that kept getting raided, and the uncomfortable awareness that time was the only asset that was truly irreplaceable. Time does not wait for the right amount. It runs on whatever you give it. You gave it $100. You gave it every month. You gave it for 40 years. And it gave you back something that $100 could not buy, that waiting could never build, and that shortcuts could never manufacture. It gave you the proof that the smallest version of the right decision, repeated without stopping, becomes something that looked like luck from the outside and looked like discipline from the inside, and is, in the end, the most ordinary, extraordinary thing a person can do with money. $100 every month, starting now.